Hi there. In this video, we're going to be talking about dividing integers. Now, a couple things. Let's talk about what an integer is first, and then we'll talk about what dividing means. So remember that an integer is simply just your counting numbers, 0, and your opposites, okay? And so what we will be doing is dividing positive and negative numbers and to see how that works. Now, division is simply just the opposite of multiplication. So if you know all of your multiplication facts, then division will be just as easy as this is. So now if I'm doing the example, say 24 divided by 6, I could also write that as 24 over 6. These two things mean the same thing. This is in fraction form, this is in operation form, okay? Now, what I want to show you is that when I'm doing 24 divided by 6, I'm asking myself the question, well, 6 times what number gives me 24? And that answer is 4, okay? So 24 divided by 6 is simply just going to give you 4. And that's all I'm doing. I'm taking whatever I have as a division problem, turning it into a multiplication problem, and asking myself that question. So it's really important that you know your multiplication facts in order to do division, okay? Now, I'm also going to use the triangle again. So anytime that you're multiplying or dividing positive and negative numbers, you want to use this triangle to help you, all right? And so we first all know that a positive number divided by a positive number gives us a positive. If I do a positive divided by a negative, the result is negative. If I do a negative divided by a positive, that's going to give me a negative. And if I do a negative divided by a negative, I'm going to get a positive. So the same thing happens, all right? Positive and positive, we know. But if I do positive and negative, all right, my result is going to be negative. But if I do a negative and a positive together, then my result is going to be negative. And if I do a negative divided by a negative, then my result is going to be positive. So use this triangle to help you understand how this is all going to work, okay? Now, let's look at a couple of examples. So the first example I want to look at is 36 divided by negative 9. Now, again, because I'm doing a positive number divided by a negative number, okay, positive divided by negative gives me a negative, all right? So really, all I want to look at is doing 36 divided by 9. Okay, I know my answer is going to be a negative because I have a positive divided by a negative. So let's ask the question. 9 times what number gives me 36? And that answer is 4, okay? 9 times 4 does in fact give me 36. Now, if what I want to do here is then go over here. Knowing this, 36 divided by negative 9 is going to give me negative 4, okay? And we could always check, all right? You can check by remultiplying. If I do negative 4 times negative 9, does that give me 36, okay? And so a negative times a negative gives you a positive, so we're good there. 4 times 9 gives you 36, so 36 equals 36. That's true. Therefore, we have done our division correctly, okay? Let's look at another example. Okay, in this example, I want to do a negative 14 divided by negative 2. Now, because I'm dividing two negatives, I know that my answer is going to be positive. Now, the first thing that I want to ask is negative 2 times what number is going to give me negative 14? Okay, and so you can also just think of 2 times what number gives me 14. You don't always have to use the negative, although that will help. But to ask this question, 2 times what number gives you 14, that number is going to be 7. 2 times 7 gives you 14. Therefore, going back here, negative 14 divided by negative 2 is going to give me a positive 7, okay? And remember, what I'm doing is I'm using my triangle, and I'm looking at the negative times a negative is going to give me a positive. And so I'm just operating with my numbers normally, but remembering these rules. On my last example, I want to look at 8 divided by 4, okay? And the question I ask is 4 times what number is going to give me 8? And that number is 2, okay? If I do 4 times 2, that's going to give me 8. Now what I want to do, and I'll go ahead and just write down my answer here that that's 2. Now what I want to do is use a number line to show this, all right? I'm going to put 0, and I'm going to count up to 8. Now if I look at the entire distance between 0 and 8, so between 0 and 8, how do I cut this piece into 4 equal pieces? Okay, and if you think about it, and if you were just to do that, cut this into 4 pieces, I would take this and I would go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the distance between each piece, or the distance of each piece, is a distance of 2. 2, 2, and 2. Okay, so what you can think about is that repeated addition thing that we were talking about back in multiplication. You know, if I do 2 times 4 or 4 times 2, you know, I can add 2 4 times to get 8. I can also think of this, take my value of 8, this distance on a number line, and cut that into 4 equal pieces. And each of those lengths is 2, and that's my answer. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.